Video shows fierce flames burning the Wenchang Pavilion in eastern China. Local officials said no casualties were reported, and the pavilion did not house any cultural relics. It was built in 2009 and modeled after the historic Yongqing Temple. Preliminary investigation found the fire was triggered by a visitor's improper use of incense and candles.
Southern Dynasty, very important.
The Om alone is enough to cleanse energy, enough to purge what doesn't belong. And it is pouring through this entire temple. And I even see it burning to the ground. So as we get up, to stand up, to walk down these stairs, I see the rooftop catching on fire. We need to burn, we need to purge, it needs to burn. Once and for all. So all of the bloodshed is being called back through Buddha's hands. It's he's responsible somehow, some way. The modern day guru. Of the dynasty. As we make our way to the dynasty. As we make our way to this crystal. So we are deep now, deep in the earth. It's dark except for the white flame shining. So as we get up, to stand up, to walk, as we find our way to the steps, we start walking down, down, one step at a time, down, left foot to right, down, feeling the Om of the gods amplifying with every step we take. And as we leave that temple, it begins to burn, 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 burn to the ground.
What is up, game changers and soul warriors? I've got something exciting today to share with all of you, and I hope you're as excited as I am, because game changers, soul warriors, rays of the sun, I have something for you. If you want to know where the ascension is at, I've got something really cool and really amazing to show you. And first of all, I'm going to tell you, there are no coincidences. There truly are not. The world is too smart. We're all creators. There just isn't any coincidences, okay? It's not how the universe works. But I want you to check something out with me today, because It is so cool, okay? So since 2019, I've been doing a work through my own Kundalini awakening. Check out this channel if you want to know all about that. It deals with the return of the gods. It does, okay? One of my latest workshops was Ancient Hidden Places of the Earth. This is so important. Check this out. I'm going to share something with you, okay? Bear with me and I'll kind of explain a little bit more, but I don't want to, you know, take up the wrong kind of time. I want you to see, whoops, I always do this when I share it. I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to reshare it, because that way we can have the side by side. Okay, maybe over the shoulder. I want you to see, I'm going to do the side by side. All right, you with me? You with me? What do I want you to see? We're going to check this out. We're going to watch this video probably a couple times. I haven't seen it yet, but Spirit showed me this morning, and they're like, look what this is, and I'm going to show you why it's important. Okay? So recently there was a large fire at a Chinese temple. Why is that important? Trust me when I tell you it is. And this shows you exactly where we're at on the ascension. Check it out. You should be able to hear it. Let me make sure my volume is all the way up. Okay, y'all ready? You ready for this? Bear with me. I want you to understand. I want you to see the really cool part before I just kind of talk your ear off and make it really boring. And then I want to show you why Spirit wants me to show you this and why it shows you where we're at on the ascension. Okay, let's watch.
Video shows fierce flames burning the Wenchang Pavilion in eastern China. Local officials said no casualties were reported, and the pavilion did not house any cultural relics. It was built in 2009 and modeled after the historic Yongqing Temple. Preliminary investigation found the fire was triggered by a visitor's improper use of incense and candles, according to local officials.
Okay, so it was modeled after a very important temple. Okay, but why would that be relevant? Well, I want to show you something, okay? I had to email myself these because I have two computers. There's one right behind me that you see, and then the one that I am actively recording on right now. And then I got like two other monitors in the system over up in here, which is my crisis work. So I am surrounded by like electronics. I look really important when you see my room. Okay, so I want to show you this because, let me see here. During Lionsgate Portal, I did a workshop series. This year, Lionsgate. It ended on Lionsgate with the 12th and 13th day. Okay, it was called Hidden Ancient Wisdom Spots or information. It was about awakening ancient wisdom and spaces. Okay. And this was a recent workshop series. All the work that I do has come through in workshops. Okay. Now I found this very interesting because some of you are going to say, well, it wasn't the actual temple. It is symbolic. It is extremely symbolic. Just like when I dried the Nile, the next day there was a river in China that turned blood red due to a beer plant leakage into the water. And if you know what I did in drying the Nile, if you know the truth about Sekhmet and Horus, it makes sense. When I dried the Nile, I processed everything we're purging. So this workshop is the Exodus of Egypt. Okay? And I didn't quite know that at first. All right? So this was done again during Lionsgate. Let me make sure you can see what I'm putting down. Okay, so this is in my system memory. These are the workshops. I record everything I do because Spirit told me to. It actually started during my one-on-one healing sessions, and what I get is like medical stuff, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to claim that because I am separate from that. Okay, when I get to real, there's actually been a lot of medical proof to what I do, but because I wanted to cover my butt and protect myself. And I tell people all the time, I'm not a doctor, I'm a master healer. There's a difference. Even though I see everything in your body, I was healing heart failure, Parkinson's. I was having all these experiences. That's not a lie. But I kept telling people, I'm not a doctor. It has to work through you. I know what I'm seeing is really crazy. So I started recording my work. Then I started getting the channeling of the workshops, okay? So that's why everything was recorded. Little did I know it had great significance. And that's why Spirit nudged me to create this YouTube channel. So the whole entire work that I've done has actually processed through on this channel. Okay, get to the story because my throat's starting to go quiet. Spirit's saying get to it. So day one was, so 1, 2, 4, and 7 were on my other computer. All right. Day 3 had to do with, let's see, day 3 had to do with Mount Vesuvius. I want to show you guys all these, but they're like hours long, and it's 13 days of it, and so it would take me a bit to upload them, so I haven't decided how to do that. Day 6 was the Black Pyramids, Alaska. I talked about that, CERN and HARP and all of that, and undoing that. There was a Black Pyramid in Alaska that was not of light. That's why it's called black. All shadow, nothing light. I deactivated it. It was the hub of CERN and HARP and that mind control. Okay. Day 8 was Mount Rushmore and Nepal area. Day 11 was Mount Sinai with the Georgia Guidestones, what happened, and the original 10 Commandments, purpose, Exodus of Egypt. So if you want to know where we're at on the ascension, we are literally processing through the energy of the dying of the earth. Right? The Exodus of Egypt. What is that? 12 and 13 was the Lionsgate Portal Day. It happened on August 8th of 25. I combined the two, and it was home opened. We opened up the gates to New Earth. Okay? So if you want to know where we're at, those were the days that were on this computer. So now look, day 1, we went to Sea of Gibraltar and the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, that's where it began. Day 1, they took us to the Sea of Gibraltar and the Mediterranean Sea. Day 2 was Buddha's Reign Undone. So we're going to watch a little bit of this one. Day 2 was Buddha's Reign Undone, and I had no idea where we were going or why. Why is that important for the temple burning? Let's watch.
Hello, everybody. It's me for day 2 of 13 days of Ancient Places Healings with the gods and the angels.
Ancient Places Healings with the gods and the angels. And what did I say about the dates? Let's see what date this would have actually fallen upon was... So day 1, day 2, day 3 was the 16th. So 15th. So it was the 13th is when we started. July 13th was day 1. The 14th was day 2. The 14th or 15th are in there. We started on July 13th of 25, and we ended on 8/8 Lionsgate. Started it on July 13th. We went to the Sea of Gibraltar and the Mediterranean Sea, and then day 2 was the temple. So this would have been the 14th or the 15th of July of this year.
I have a new message today, and I was trying to research where I got because I didn't know anything about it, just like yesterday. Yesterday on day 1, we went to Mesopotamia, which dealt with the Nile, which is very relative and important for the work that I have done. It's almost like the beginning of the end, right? That's kind of what I think about starting on day 1 at the beginning of the end. Well, this is day 2 of our ancient history. If
you know anything about me, everything I say in these, I'm pure channeling them. I just am a pure channel. That's what I am. It's who I am. I channel the work. I do what God tells me to do. And I've had help with the angels and my DM, okay, along the way. So, and I've been attacked a lot by those that rose with me, unfortunately. So I get very protective, and I get that, you know, there is no perfection, and I made mistakes with wanting to give up on my journey because it was very, very hard. I process all this work through my vessel, which is why I took so many hits. But if you know anything about the way I work, everything I say is so important. So the Sea of Gibraltar, I want to show you guys that one. That was day 1. I want to show you guys all of these in a row, and I'm not sure how to do it because, you know, I don't want to bore people. Have that short attention span, and there was 13 days of these. We started on July 13th and we ended on August 8th. Lionsgate, always something important comes through in important times and energies. So I don't know how to show you guys all these to where I know you'll want to see them and understand what's happening and pay attention. So if you have any ideas, let me know. So day 1 was Sea of Gibraltar, Mesopotamia, and the Nile. And I kept telling you this was the Exodus of Egypt. So let's listen.
Ancient places of the earth. Spirit guides these. I don't create these. I don't dictate where we go. This is very important work of the return of the gods. And so what came through today shocked me, just like everything else. And I truly did have to look it up and understand what's happening here, because I've never been there. I have no idea, and it's not something I've heard about a lot of. So I'm kind of reading it. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh.
So,
all right. So let me kind of, here, I will go ahead and let you see me. I'm extremely exhausted and I just got out of school. But I'm gonna screen share with you, I think. Maybe. So, and then the word, so, okay. So where do I start? I am going to start with the message from Spirit and tell you where we're going today. I don't know what's going to happen when we're there, but I'm going to tell you what came through. Okay. So I've called in the Creator, I've called in the angels and the gods, and of course Saint Germain is here with the Akasha records. We are literally housed and steeped in the Akasha records and these healings. So Metatron, Malachi, Zeus, Poseidon, and Algonquin came through. Now, Algonquin is the white dragon that came through that they had me draw and tune into when I was octaving the pyramids and processing again that the Mount Shasta clearing was beating the red dragon and part of the San Andreas Fault and all that kind of stuff. So, and what came through, I think it was day 5 of octaving the pyramids, was the red dragon. And right before that, I had literally drawn a dragon, and I didn't know how to draw a dragon, but Spirit was like, do it. And I said, okay. So they showed me how, and it was Algonquin. So he came through today as well. So we have Metatron, Malachi, Zeus, Poseidon, and Algonquin. Okay. So the message that came through was this: let go of expectations and outdated vibrations. You are no longer the past. It's only now as we speak. Okay, so holding on to the past, it's like I was thinking this. It's like there are millions of excuses. You can sit here and say, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You can work on it until the day you're dead. It's literally a decision in the moment. That's all we have. We have choices in the moment, and that's when we know we have cleared our karma, right? That's when we know we have learned the lesson, because we actually can choose the choice in the moment. So I'm not big on excuses and always these things of, well, I'm working on it. It's like I'm trying, you know what I mean? You're putting in the minimal effort possible because you don't like to be uncomfortable, kind of a thing. That's what that makes me think of. So when they give this message, I think of that a lot. And it's also just holding on to some of the pain of the past and things like that, because sometimes we become creatures of habit, and not everybody wants to be free from them, unfortunately. Some of us like playing the victim. We like feeling sad. We like feeling the victim. We like living in the trauma, and that's the truth, right? So we let go of expectations and outdated vibrations. You are no longer the past. It's only now as we speak. And people can always say, well, I haven't healed that. I haven't healed it. Things heal when they need to heal. You don't have to worry about that. What you have to worry about is being clarity in the moment, and making the right choices when they rise. That's the testaments. That's Revelations 21:12. So ancient temples of Tibet is what came through today, okay? So let go of expectations, outdated vibrations. So this has to also do with that location, okay? Us as individuals, mankind, and also that location and why we're going there today. So we need to let go of expectations and outdated vibrations. Now, there's something interesting about these temples, ancient temples of Tibet. Now, I've heard of Tibetan bowls, I've heard of Tibet, I've heard of monks, I've heard of Buddha. You know, Buddha didn't believe in God, right? There's something there because I know God's real. I know this work is of God. I know God intimately. Like I really do. I've worked through him every day of this journey. So I heard ancient temples of Tibet, and then I got this. So I started looking up Tibet, and there is ancient temples there, but it wasn't complete. Then I got libation. Libation. What is libation? Let's look up libation. I know what the word libation is, but we're going to look it up that way. Libations. It's like a drink, right? A drink poured out as an offering to a deity. Okay? Libations. Let me screen share these because this is important information. There was a couple words I had to look up and then specific temples I had to look up. Okay?
Let's pay close attention, okay? Because every detail matters and we should never assume we understand what Spirit's talking about. I don't. I let it process. So that's all I'm asking of you guys is just watch this, okay? This is so important and so cool. And it shows you where we're at in the energy. These energies are coming in, and I said what doesn't align will burn. And I think I may actually burn the temple down. So let's listen. And remember, this was done this year, right before Lionsgate. So we started July 13th, 25. Let's add those dates together. 21. 2 and 1 is 3. So here we are again, God's temple. And then it ended 8/8 of 25. So in the final, all of it made sense. We started at Sea of Gibraltar, Mesopotamia, day 2, and I had no idea these things were coming through. I had no idea. Day 2 were the temples and Buddha's reign undone. That's like a thing. Like he will not exist anymore. He served his thing. He did some things that maybe he shouldn't have with the power he was given, and it's not about judgment. Let's just watch.
So let me
also, you guys, also on one of these, I love these because these are so cool. So again, I never know. So 6, let's see what 6 was. Hidden places, black pyramids. So one of these, it must be in my email. Let's check. Okay, so rising into New Sea of Gibraltar was day 1. Day 2 is Buddha's reign. Hindu god temples of Myanmar. So I did this again. Anointing of a Hindu god. And you know the elephant with like the 6 arms? That was that one. Yeah, so day 7 we did an anointing. It was like I cleansed this Hindu god. I blessed this Hindu god. I did a cleansing and a blessing on him in the temples of Myanmar. It was so cool. Day 4 was Peru. There were these crystal caves in Peru. It was also so very cool. So let's just listen to this. Day 2 was the temples. Remember, what I showed you here was the burning down of the thingy, which we'll watch again. Let's just watch this.
Do dance. So we have libations, a drink poured out as an offering to a deity. What is a deity? A god, a being. He poured the libation of rum on the ground. Liquid offering. Liquid offering. It's very important to understand that. Because then they said sex rituals, worships of gods with bloodshed. Okay?
Sex which... So I told you we were going into the Tibet. What's his name? Oh my gosh, like I'm just processing this. I remembered it, but I forgot a lot of I do a lot of these. I channel them. I'm literally just channeling it. Buddha. So he did sex rituals. Let's hear that again.
Important information. There was a couple words I had to look up, and then specific temples I had to look up. Okay? So let me
I'm so excited.
do dance. So we have libations, a drink poured out as an offering to a deity. What is a deity? A god, a being. He poured the light.
So I'm also hearing libation is like celebrations, maybe in the wrong way, the wrong form, excessive celebrations. What Spirit is telling me is they were trying to say is like giving God's energy and God's light for things that were not of the light. Okay, so when you do a libations like peace to the homies with alcohol, I don't know, just hold on to that.
Libation of rum on the ground, liquid offering. Liquid offering. It's very important to understand that. Because then they said sex rituals, worships of gods with bloodshed. Okay? So they said sex rituals and worships of God with bloodshed. This is a processing thing, okay? Because I was like, oh, oh, this is way more than just the Tibetan temples, okay?
This has to do with Buddha.
Understand this. So I know that my words haven't been clearly heard. And there's been a lot of judgments coming my way. And everything I say, and I mean everything I say, is very important. Yesterday's I said to please listen to my words. It actually came through. I watched it. It was literally just set the intention to hear my words. Like, very important to hear.
I actually uploaded day 1, something about it on YouTube, and it's called The Exodus of Egypt. So you can look that up. I tried to show you, we just went to Mesopotamia and the Sea of Gibraltar, and it had to do with the beginning of time. And then the Nile, and then we have the Tigris River coming up, that you will only get to the Tigris River if you pass the Nile. The Nile is the river of justice. And so your life review occurs. So we are going into this space where this is the end. Like we are in, oh, I just got such chills. We are in the end. And your choices have mattered, and your life reviews are coming, and the portal opens, and some will go into new earth due to their heart review. You cannot carry karma forward, and I've been saying this a lot. You have to heal your karma, not cut ties with your karma. You have to learn the lessons by the choices that we make in our day-to-day reality, and it could be the smallest little choice, and it has the biggest ripple. Okay, so it all matters. So if you really want to know where we're at in the end times, look at this. In this one, it is Buddha's reign undone, and I'm sitting here telling you what they told me. So he had these sex rituals. If you think Hollywood is the only one that did it, oh no. Anything with power, these gurus, this has been common for some time. If you think spiritualism wasn't tainted with the shadow, there was a very large shadow in it. Okay, which is why judgment is heightened within spirituality, and it is not of God. So we have to be aware of that. Let's listen.
My words. I think it was more important to hear the words and be present in it than just go where you wanted to go with it, right? Like, very important to hear my words because they're very layered. This is the work of God. It's very, very layered. So if we want to understand the totality of what's happening and actually help people through these things or be that front line, it would require selflessness. It would require being absolutely present in the moment and paying complete attention to what is happening, and not self-focused, but more internally focused, right? Does that make sense? So let go of expectations, outdated vibrations. This has to do with the temples of Tibet, ancient temples of Tibet. You are no longer the past. It's only now as we speak. Oh, excuse me, bless me. Then Spirit literally said libations, sex rituals, worships of gods with bloodshed.
God is not bloodshed. That
okay.
Is not okay.
And then we have forgotten temples of underground nature, steeped in pragmatism and divine nature. I'm going to read that again. And then I looked up pragmatism as well, because I'm like, pragmatism, woo! Okay, so we have forgotten temples of underground nature, underground. I looked that up too. Steeped in pragmatism and divine nature.
Please listen to this whole thing because the fire is relevant. I'm telling you, I said the temples are underground. The fire that you saw is very relevant in a temple. It doesn't matter how it started. If you think there's no coincidences. Please listen carefully.
Pragmatism, a pragmatic attitude or policy. It's an ideology, was tempered with pragmatism. So it's an approach that assesses the truth and meaning of theories of beliefs in terms of the success of their practical application. It's a philosophical tradition that views language and thought as tools for prediction. A philosophical tradition that views language and thought as tools for prediction. So this is telling me that maybe some things of not light went on there, and maybe they falsely guided people through dark beings pretending to be
What?
light.
Not just Hollywood?
That's
Oh my
I'm not swear buying that, but that's what I'm feeling here. Okay.
Yeah. So we haven't even got into the workshop yet. This is entry into the work. So I channel information about it, and then I go into the workshop even further. Okay. And we're going to watch it because the fire that I showed you is relevant. Let's watch. Please watch.
And steeped in pragmatism and divine nature. School of philosophy dominant in the United States in the first quarter of the 20th century based on the principle that the usefulness, workability, and practicality of ideas, policies, and proposals are the criteria of their merit. It stresses the priority of action over doctrine, of achieving results, so getting things done. Okay, in business and public affairs is often said to be pragmatic. There is a harsher and more brutal connotation of the term in which any exercise of power in the successful pursuit of practical and specific objectives is called pragmatic.
So, what did that just say? There is a harsher and more brutal connotation of the term pragmatism, in which any exercise of power in the successful pursuit of practical and specific objectives is called pragmatic. And if you think the government prior wasn't doing this, think again. Anything with God's power was used in that way. Okay. So there is that negative connotation in it. Okay. Using God's power for a specific objective and goal outside of light. Bloodshed, sex rituals, this is Buddha. But how many gurus, like a cult, I mean, just because you put a spiritual name on it doesn't mean it's not built from something not of light, and using God's power for that was not okay. So if you wonder why Buddha's reign would be undone, they're explaining it right here, but I haven't done the work yet. You got to watch.
Okay, so let's listen to this again. Any exercise of power in the successful pursuit of practical and specific objectives. So what does that mean to me in the journey that I have been doing? Well, there are underground temples there. Okay. There's actually a lot of them. There's a lot of underground temples there. Okay. A lot of them. And they were I don't like that. They were used for meditations, ceremonies, ritualistic behaviors, so libation, pragmatism. Oh, here we are. Caves and sacred places in the Tibetan plateau. Although most of us think of Tibet as high plateau, right? Riven by high mountain chains wide open to the skies, it has deep hidden and underground dimensions as well. Numerous caves with extensive dark zones. Much of the plateau near Lhasa has a limestone geology, CA, where natural processes create caverns and rock shelters. Okay. Many of them in Tibet have also been created by people. For the first 2 millennia, at least, rock faces have been hollowed and used for domestic purposes and, more commonly, as shelters for monks, lamas, and other religious figures. The large majority of caves of the plateau, both natural and artificial, are key elements in the sacred geography of Tibetan Buddhism. Despite the importance of caves to both pre-Buddhist and Buddhist belief systems, we know surprisingly little of the antiquity of cave use in the plateau. Surprisingly little.
We know surprisingly little.
1970s, Chinese archaeologists began systematic work in the plateau. It says in here somewhere that they were used, so meditation caves and still others have ritual architecture within them. To better understand these caves, I turned to indigenous Tibetan and Buddhist thought for insight.
Hold on, let's read this. Understanding how caves are used as an important aspect of my research on the reintroduction of Buddhism to the Tibetan plateau after AD 1000. Expedition 47-2-28-34. At Pyong, a key site in this process, over 1,100 caves of varying shapes and sizes have been discovered. Some are clearly habitation sites, while others are probably meditation caves, and still others have ritual architecture within them. To better understand these caves, I turn to indigenous Tibetan and Buddhist thought for insight into how caves are perceived. So, my friends, what did the fire have to do with it? What did the fire have to do with it? Let's go back to that one because it took me forward.
Video shows fierce flames burning the Wenchang Pavilion in eastern China. Local officials said no casualties were reported, and the pavilion did not house any cultural relics.
So the thing is as we listen to this workshop, I say a fire in one of the ones on top, and then we go down below. So if you're hearing the chills, everything I said is important. I'm talking about right now the temple's underground, and then during the workshop, I'm in a above ground one and I burn it down and we go down below. So let's listen. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Let's watch.
Into how caves are perceived. Okay, Tibetans, like most people around the world, categorize the natural and built environment, mountains, lakes, rivers, boulders, vistas, and caves have symbolic and sacred meanings. Okay, Himalayans and ethnographers have noted a duality of sacred categories, a fundamental distinction between up into the mountains and down into the lowlands, below the peaks or beneath the surface of water. Mountains are the abode of gods and deities in both Tibetan Buddhist and pre-Buddhist belief systems, while spirits live beneath the water. In between people live a middle world of action and ritual. This tripartite division of the cosmos is common to many peoples around the world. Tibetan sacred geography has deep roots in antiquity. One of the most important features is the concept of Nas, pronounced Ne, of Ne, Ni, Nis, translate as place. Okay, so there's lots of things you can actually read about them, but they are steeped in ritualistic history.
There's a reason Spirit gives me the information this way, because I haven't done the workshop yet. So you understand, all this information came right before I did the workshop, which I'm about to get into. It starts like, un momento, por favor. So let's keep watching. Everything I say is very important, okay?
Some for meditation. Now what Spirit says, right, is, I'm going to read it one more time, and then we're going to get into the workshop. So I will go ahead and stop sharing. I just love Spirit, and I love the words they use sometimes. I'm like, ooh, let's do this. So this is what they said. Metatron, Malachi, and Zeus, Poseidon, and Algonquin. Let go of expectations and outdated vibrations. You are no longer the past, right? It's only now as we speak. So again, it's like an excuse is that I still need healing to be able to see clearly or make the right choices. It's a lie, and it's an excuse. It just depends on the purity of the heart. What is your true motivation? So let go of expectations, outdated vibrations. You are no longer the past. It's only now as we speak. Ancient temples of Tibet, libations, sex rituals, worships of gods with bloodshed. Remember, gods, not bloodshed. So these are the wrong gods. These were gods steeped in shadow at the time or something. Remember the pragmatism, power, control purposes? So they were filling a purpose for power and control, basically. So forgotten temples of underground nature, steeped in pragmatism and divine nature. Okay, steeped in power, authority, and divine nature. So authority for a goal, future predictions, using the word of God to, at times probably falsely direct people for the purpose of power. Okay? that's what we got there. I thought it was pretty cool. I hope you do too. All right, so now we're going to go into day 2, guided ritual healing. I don't know what's going to come through. I'm hearing to grab my drum, but that's not an easy feat here. Hang on. I'm like, oh, my thing fell. I don't know if I want to grab it. It's way back there. It's way back there. Let's see. I love it when things want to fall on the floor. And then I'm like, suck a fish. Now I gotta get you. You suck. Okay. Oh. Oh, all right. Got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay. Got my drum. All right. So we are going to the Tibetan temples underground, as far as I know. So call on the creator, the angels and gods, Poseidon and Zeus and Algonquin too, Malachi and Metatron, and me and you, all coming together in the space of healing light and the reset of mankind. We're cleansing out the bloodshed through the word and the light of the divine. It cannot be this way. It cannot be this way. For that land is very special. There are important energetic ley lines, which I didn't know.
Are you hearing that? Those are ley lines. Very important energy ley lines. And Buddha used them for his own personal gain. In darkness and bloodshed and sex rituals, that is not God. That's like Epstein Island. What's the difference? There isn't one. So if you wonder why I undid Buddha's reign, wait till you hear about the Tibetan temple. Wait till you hear what I do. And why does a burning temple have anything to do with this? Let's watch.
Steeped in divine presence and beautiful earthly nature. For in Mother Nature, it is not okay to sacrifice the bloodshed of others, or to assume that God, the light, the divine, wants your libations.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you celebrating and why? Those libations, they said the divine doesn't want them. Don't assume they do. So let's listen.
So come into this space, this pure, divine, sacred space, being willing to leave everything behind.
Hope you can hear it with the
From
drum.
lies to false timelines to secrets and devotions that are not pure in the now. What excuses really work or matter? None. They're all a lie. Gambala wayala iete o. Gambala wayala iete o. So what I'm seeing is in Tibet, as I'm beginning today's healing, there's something there. It's a vibration underground, a vibration, a temple of light, a temple, a divine liberation,
Underground.
a vibration of light.
I said a temple underground, divine. See, with the light language I do and the scrolls I read, I get images. As I read them, I see what it's doing. There's an action behind them. It's not just as simple as I'm saying them. It's activating, it's healing, it does stuff to the earth, and I actually get visuals with them. That's in all the work that I do, including undoing the Sistine Chapel. Everything I do is given to me in a scroll, and cool ones too, with the language of God. And somehow I can read it, somehow it channels through, and then I get visuals of what I'm doing. So that's how it works.
There's a lot about Buddha.
A lot about Buddha.
That you don't know. Libations.
sex parties, power control.
Did you hear that? A lot about Buddha that you don't know. Libations, sex parties, power control.
Oh, yeah. It's where gurus were born.
It's where gurus were born. I just said that. I don't know if you can. I hope you can hear it. It's hard to hear it. It got lower because I'm playing the drum, and I kind of don't want that to be really loud in the microphone. So I just said it's because of Buddha, where gurus were born. Let's listen. Or I said it's where Buddha's
So we're bringing our energy in, completely protected, completely divided, separated, but for the purpose of this togetherness healing. Into the space of the Buddhist temples of Tibet.
Into the space of the Buddhist temples.
So we're going to go on a journey steeped and underground through Tibet.
Going to go on a journey steeped and underground through Tibet.
And there is a crystal there.
Crystal's there.
Activate once again.
Oh, there was a crystal there that I will activate once again, I said.
Turn back to light.
To turn it back to light.
So there were rituals there. There were rituals there, much like dark magic, but in a little bit of a different context. So this crystal, the deities, there were just things that were not pure light. Yeah. And right now, it's still an abuse of power.
Still an abuse of power. They did things outside of light.
There are also some souls trapped there.
Oh, I forgot there were souls trapped there. So if you wonder why there's a burning of a temple, wait, because I think I light it on fire. So let's listen. There were souls trapped. I think they're women, if I remember correctly.
Are there ley lines in Tibetan temples area?
From mysteriold.com, some scholars suggest these temples lie on what ancient cultures called ley lines, invisible energy meridians flowing across the earth, akin to spiritual acupuncture points.
So they are on ley lines.
Well,
there's a crystal location there, deep in the mountain.
So deep in the mountain, there's a crystal location. So if you know anything about what I did when I dried the Nile, there was a crystal in the core of the earth I had to turn back from darkness to light. And then it turned blood dry, the Nile, and it dried up. Okay? And then after that, Horus returned, and so did that soul fragment of Sekhmet. Okay, that was that timeline. The Adam and Eve was birthing new earth. Jesus and Mary Magdalene timeline, I don't think there was a crystal in that. The other crystals were when I activated the pyramids. There was a crystalline grid that I replaced, and it ended with the one in the core. So there was a crystal here as well. And they were using it for darkness. That's what they've been doing. That your earth was stolen. And they did it by ripping apart the masculine and feminine. That was not a choice of the masculine and feminine. It was a war. Okay, so let's listen. Which is returned. That's why it's the end.
Queen is present. So I'm getting the visual, and I want you to close your eyes and be present in the space and time. If you can follow my voice, that's all that matters. Please do not assume or dictate or create any situation that was not aligned. Just follow my voice.
We said don't assume or dictate or create anything that's not aligned. Just hear me. That's important in this work because you don't want to bring shadow into it because I'm undoing shadow. So let's listen.
Follow my voice, my path, my voice, my light. Follow it. Closing your eyes and tuning into your chest for a moment in time. As the spirits, the angels, the beings of light, the three beings that were a part of yesterday into today, step forward at this time. – Cutting cords, opening up the Akasha records of the earth and you. You are a daily. you will participate as much as you can, because we cannot bring duality through.
So I think I take a break and I put my hair
So they
up.
like to take on the power of the gods. That's what they're showing me. Like rituals and even those spinny things and different things, and they would use vibrations, they would use intentions, but not always for the purest intent, for power. Misuse of.
Did you hear that? Something happened. I think it was thunder. It scared the shite.
Holy shit. Did you hear that lightning strike? I'm shaking. I'm back and I'm shaking. I paused the video, so I don't even know if you could tell, but I had to close my window. Like, that was like at our house. I don't know what it hit, but it was the loudest lightning I think I've ever heard. So I'm sorry.
You guys, my hair is past my knees now. According to my daughter, because I don't see it. It's past my knees. It's really long and it's really heavy. So I don't wear it up often, but when I do, it's like this big, huge thing at the top of my head.
Sorry about that. It totally pulled me out. It actually scared me.
And my body did take a hit. I've been working out. I don't know if you can tell. I've been working really hard, healing and trying my damnedest to lose it. I got an elliptical. Like, I've been doing the work. So hopefully it's going to continue. But it is what it is. Let's listen.
And I have kids in the house, so I wanted to go check on them and make sure everybody was okay. And I'm literally shaking. So I'm going to try to come back in, okay? So we are going to the Tibetan temples. I actually see this temple, and then there's these stairs going down. So I'm going to try to take us back there, okay?
So there's a temple on top.
So
and
I got jolted out.
Down.
I don't know if you did. Hopefully everything's all right.
This is so important. I start out at the temple above ground, and I do something there, and then I walk down the stairs. And I believe I light it on fire. Let's listen.
So I call back our energy to the space and time in which the interruption occurred, pure divine interruption of another kind, let me tell you. I'm still kind of shaking, still kind of heightened. Like, it got me right in the gut. Like, it was intense. Oh boy, was it ever intense. I'm just going to raise this up. All right, so just get back to where our eyes are closed and we're kind of focused on the heart space. And I'm just guiding this through. That's all I do. Nothing but guide. Pure divine channeled guide.
I do work too, but...
Into the heart of the land of the gods. So they use the power of this location for distortion and lies. Some bloodshed. There are some souls trapped there. No matter how steeped in darkness it was, it needs to be cleared. Out of the ley lines, out of the light of the divine. And something with Buddha. Purified Buddha's temple is what I'm hearing.
We're
So I want
purifying
us
the
to see
temple.
ourselves above ground first.
So what doesn't align will burn. I've said that many times. As new earth comes in, what doesn't align will burn, and not everything at once. I predicted the fires that occurred, that we had, that were massive, and I said they were going to be massive. I predicted those, but not only did I predict them, if you watch the pyramid activations that I did, I said they were not happy with what I was doing, and they were going to start fires. That was a different part of it, though. So let's just listen very carefully. I always speak everything I say is so important, and it's been playing out in our reality through all of my work, but you have to watch it. You have to listen without expectations and just observe and then process, and then it's there. You know what I mean? So this is important.
So imagine yourself in a temple. See, feel, sense us in a temple of pure divine presence, above ground. So it's like at a mountaintop, and you can see all these cliffs and beautiful mountain ranges, and it's just quite beautiful. Lots of
a temple above ground on a mountaintop, and you can see all these beautiful places. Okay, this looks like it was on a mountaintop.
It was built in 2009 and modeled after the historic Yongqing Temple. Preliminary investigation found the fire was triggered by a visitor's improper use of incense and candles,
so
according to local officials.
So that is on a mountaintop, isn't it? That is on a mountaintop, my friends. It sure is. It sure is. Let's listen.
Lots of greenery, lots of trees, up high in the sky.
Up high?
In a temple.
In a temple.
And I see some flags blowing in the wind, you know what I mean? Like hanging off of like the string type thing and blowing in the wind. And I see scribe hopes, so like these things where they would like and do like chanting.
Oy, oy, oy.
I am not Buddhist. I am of God. There is a difference. Duele.
So he had wisdom, and he used it for his own gain, which is what they've been doing, and that's why we are now in the end of that. You cannot use God's word, power, light for anything outside of God anymore. And I said that on doing the Holy Grail, and everything that I've done, I've repeated that. But this is so important. So we're in a temple above ground, lots of greenery, it's up high, there's cliffs everywhere. Oh my gosh, I wish I could get a 360 degree around here. Lord knows if there were flags there. There might have been. So let's listen. So above ground temple we start in.
Religious sector, but a spiritual one as well. Kind of a little bit of both. Because gurus were born from this space. Like, you know a guru, right?
Gurus were born from this space and the work that they did there. They took God's light, God's knowledge, God's wisdom, God's power, and they used it in a way that was outside of God, which is what they've been doing. That's what Mount Shasta was created through. That's what all these things were done, and that's what I've been undoing. And I did not see this coming. I had no idea. Buddha's, the word guru always gives me a weird feeling. I'm not a guru, but I've got the same wisdom. But it's harder for people to hear me because I don't come through the shadow. We're so steeped in that, and this is part of why. All these beings came in and used the shadow against the light. Buddha is no exception to that rule. So I go into this above ground temple. That's where we're at, okay?
Gurus, it's not my favorite word to use. I am not a guru, but I am true master.
And please don't put perfection on me. I took a beating.
And I just want you to imagine yourself sitting in the center of this temple, and it has open archways, and it has beautiful breezes. Ooh,
open
God
archways.
forbid any more lightning occurs here. And it's like blowing through.
Beautiful breezes, so it's like open.
Feel the breeze, and there's almost like this vibrational hum. Almost like you can hear the deep
Yeah, I got a vision of lots of oming.
So an oming of the gods is coming in around us, like all of the gods with a nice, beautiful And I want you to feel and sense this Om vibration coming through this temple. A ritual of true God.
We are now doing a ritual of true God. So what Buddha did there was not that. Remember, there's trapped souls too.
Feel the vibration of the God's Om going through this temple. You can feel it in the breeze is in the wind blowing around you, this oh. You're beginning to feel it, sense it, and know its presence through your feet on the floor of this temple as you sit there in the center. Oh. 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 The very powerful Om that is moving the earth through vibration. It's awakening the energy of the gods in this area. Om. And I see the vibration of the gods Om floating through the energy lines of the lay spaces. Om. It's awakening the ley lines, awakening the vibration of the land through this temple.
So right now I'm invoking all that energy.
There are spirits trapped here. So I do see a manipulation of power. I see people actually getting pushed out of the temple to their death. We're cleansing that. We're cleansing that. We're cleansing that now.
So they would remove those they didn't want there to their death.
There's no difference from there to other places where if you challenge the power, you meet a demise of sudden sacrifice.
So I just said if you challenged his power, you would meet a demise of a sudden sacrifice of your life. So I'm tuning into the spirits that are trapped there at this time.
I'm seeing the sky like there's clouds above. There's lots of clouds. But then all of a sudden there's a breakthrough of this beautiful sun pillar of light to the center of this temple, through the sky, to the temple, to the land.
Did you hear that? It's like it showed like all this dark clouds above the temple and then a breakthrough of a pillar of light of the sun. Right to the center.
The energy line. Sun, just a pillar of sun coming out of the sky, breaking through the clouds all around, above you and I. Focusing inward on your heart space, just see, sense, and feel this pillar of sun going down through the sky, breaking through the clouds, into the center of this temple. And the most beautiful, vibrationally powerful of the gods is filling our space.
So generally what I have to do is free trap souls first. And I do believe that's what's coming.
Filling our presence, making its way through our feet, through this temple, into our ankles, our calves, and our knees. This of the gods. Kumbaya, kumbaya, oh, there was a power of men of plenty. You
Power
see.
of men.
A power of men of plenty. You see, it was men. It was power of ranking, so to speak. And I see them falling off, not falling, being pushed. Oh.
Pushed to their deaths.
Oh.
A power of men, a ranking.
sacrifice to the gods.
And then
Buddha
Buddha would say sacrifice them to the gods.
They did.
Remember in the beginning,
I
said bloodshed and bloodshed.
For they believed if they went against their leader, the one who called himself the most important one, we'll say, they used them as a sacrifice to feed the power of what they perceive power.
So if they went against Buddha, they would sacrifice them to cleanse it, which also fueled the darkness, and to him made him more powerful.
Of gods.
That's not God. That is not God. God would not sacrifice his son either. Knowing the truth about what really happened with the Holy Grail and Jesus is also on this channel. So I didn't know Buddha's reign needed to be undone either. But it was in this video. And there was a fire. Let's listen. Keep listening.
As the Om of the God vibration rises through our calves to our knees and our thighs, feel the Om.
I'm just bringing in that vibration.
Feel the Om.
It's like activating all of this energy.
Rising into the root chakra, the sacral and the solar plexus, the Om. A deep chanting Om. Vibration of the.
You know, in a Tibetan temple, like they Om, and they do those Om, those scry thingies that spin. It's like Om. Om. If you know Om, it's your connection to the third eye, to God, to spirit. Om. And that's what I just keep hearing and I invoking repeatedly in this space as I keep getting downloaded images. And the light language that I say does things. So let's just listen.
God. Waking up the light.
Can you hear it? I hope
Waking
you can.
up the earth.
Waking up the light,
the leyland.
the earth.
Oh.
The leyland.
Waking up the sky, the trees. Oh.
The volume got low. I apologize.
And just like I did yesterday, as the vibration of the Om continues to rise through our heart space, our throat, our third eye, and our crown, and all the way up to the higher chakra system as well, and into our auric field. We're becoming part of the gods.
Told you it's the return
As
of the
I
gods.
start to slow down the spin of the earth, the rotation. I'm slowing it down, I'm slowing it down, I'm slowing it down.
I slow down the earth rotation.
Slowing it down.
I do that a lot.
Slowing it down. Oh.
Slowing down the earth rotation, slowing down time, slowing down energy movement on the earth to do the work.
You see those spinny things they used for rituals and chanting?
Scry things or whatever they are.
Some of the souls are trapped near those, like in the ground of the temple space. All around this space, they're trapped, they're stuck. Fragmented souls left as a sacrifice to a false god.
Did you hear that? So all this, so they said those little spinny things that they sit around and go om, 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 om with. They said there's lots of trapped souls around there, fragmented souls that they sacrifice to a false god. And there's lots of souls trapped around there. That's what I just said.
For power, for control, for deceptiveness.
Power, control, and deception. path of the exodus of Egypt.
As I begin to draw them out of the earth, the temple, the world around this space, all of the souls of sacrificial lamb.
So I'm drawing them out now. And it's not just at that one temple. I need you guys to understand that. Even the one that burned is a representation of all the energy destroying, being cleansed and purged. But listen, because I believe after I take out the souls, it burns. So I'm starting to remove the souls that are trapped there now.
They need to rise, they need to rise to be free.
They need to rise to be free.
They need to rise. Oh.
Wish I could make it louder. It's as loud as it'll go.
Suddenly, I see a lightning bolt and a crack into those spinning things.
I saw a lightning bolt and a crack into those spinny things. I'm also going to download. Oh, no. Okay. Stop it. I don't want to do that. I'll do that anyways later, right after. I'll download the transcript also.
I lose the word. It doesn't want.
So I saw lightning strike the scribe poles. You know, those things are like, oh, they ohm to and they spin them. And I lightning strike those. Something to do with the trapped souls within them, like through them, around them. They're connected to that.
I want to be present. Scries? They keep calling them scries.
Scries?
But they're like being struck down.
Spirit kept calling them scries. That's what I said. And they're being struck down with lightning.
For their karmic demise.
Karmic demise. That's what I said.
And I'm seeing one soul rise and rise.
Souls
and
are starting to rise.
to the heavens above.
They're setting them free.
Another soul follows with love and freedom.
Like, yay, I'm free.
Freedom.
Souls are rising now as I'm saying that. It's like coming out and going up.
The beings of light that are providing us with the healing are also starting to pull out emotional ties of the timeline as I start to take us backwards in time. Just like yesterday.
So I'm taking us
starting to pull this
backwards
space
in time.
a little bit backwards in time through history to bring it forward into the now.
So that's what I'm doing in each one of these workshops. I'm going back through history, purging out the darkness, and certain parts of it will go into New Earth. And it becomes part of the New Earth map.
It's almost like bringing all of its past into the now, right? But it's also showing me like I'm reversing the time and bringing it all into the now and
Purging what was done, cleansing it so that we can bring it into the now. So if you think there's any coincidence to a burning down temple, keep listening.
Yeah, power, control, and the word of religion, and the word of spirituality, the word of deities, and the name of light, used for their beneficial sacrifice. I'm starting to see raindrops falling out of the sky with that pillar of the sun opening up the skyline.
Raindrops starting to fall out of the sky with that pillar of sun opening up the skyline.
Just raindrops so powerful and cleansing coming down all over this temple.
Powerful and cleansing raindrops are now coming down all over the temple. And I remember I was freeing the souls. Now I'm seeing raindrops coming down.
And the vibration of the
and still that Om vibration.
Through our energy. I can hear it in my voice. It's different. It just sounds different.
I don't know why it got hard to hear me.
You may not want to believe Buddha did the sacrificing. So when I see Buddha,
I just said you may not want to believe Buddha did the sacrificing.
I see him loud and clear.
But when
I see bloodshed.
But when I was seeing Buddha, I saw him loud and clear, and I see bloodshed. This is what I'm saying.
With his hands being responsible that he now must clear.
His hands are responsible for that bloodshed, and he now must clear it. What am I doing here? Let's listen.
He tapped into the light. There's a crystal here. There's a crystal. There's a ley line. There's a crystal. There's a ley line. An energy center.
There's a crystal there, a ley line, an energy center, I keep saying, and he tapped into it.
Underneath this temple we are in, we are going to walk down soon underground.
I just said it's underneath this temple we are in. We are going to walk down soon underground.
And clear the rest of the souls.
And clear the rest of the souls.
And any bloodshed.
And the bloodshed and heartache.
Send the karma.
And cleanse the karma.
Undoing the past and bringing it forward.
Undoing the past and bringing it forward. That's what I kept doing in these areas.
Undoing the past at last and setting it free.
Setting it free.
Bringing it into the now, because that is all we have.
Yep.
For it is the great reset of mankind.
So when they say it's the great reset of mankind, history's undone. We will not have that history anymore. There is no more darkness. We cannot be duality anymore. So everything that was done will be processing out. And if you think there's any coincidence to a burning temple, let's keep listening.
So there are temples here. There are also steps. Lots of stairs taking us all the way down.
So there's stairs underneath
For this
it.
temple above ground, there is temples underneath in the ground.
Where there's temples above ground, there is temples underneath in the ground. I just said that. Where there's temples above ground, there is temples underneath underground.
So off to our behind us to the right, slightly behind us to the right, is a stairway.
I kept saying slightly behind us to the right is a stairway. Appearing.
That our beings of light are going to guide us down. So you can imagine yourself getting up, standing up in this temple.
So suddenly we start standing up in the temple and our guides are going to walk us down the stairs. Keep listening. It gets really important.
With the vibrational frequency of
With the vibration of Om.
Getting louder and attuning our energy more and more and more and more. Carrying the vibration of the gods with the Om.
Carrying vibration of the gods.
The Om alone is enough to cleanse energy, enough to purge what doesn't belong.
The Om alone is enough to cleanse energy and purge what doesn't belong. Let's listen.
And it is pouring through this entire temple.
I'm just pouring it through the temple.
And I even see it burning to the ground.
I just said it. Did you? I even see it burning to the ground. Listen very carefully. Very, very carefully.
So you can imagine yourself getting up, standing up in this temple.
Standing
with
up.
The vibrational frequency of
Getting ready to go to the stairs.
getting louder and attuning our energy more and more and more and more. Carrying the vibration of the gods with the Om.
Listen.
The Om alone is enough to cleanse energy, enough to purge what doesn't belong. And it is pouring through this entire temple.
The Om.
And I even see it burning to the ground.
And I even see it burning to the
So
ground.
as we get up, to stand up, to
I literally just said I see it burning to the ground. I see it burning to the ground.
walk down these stairs, I see the rooftop catching on fire.
As we begin walking down the stairs, I see the rooftop catching on fire. This is about 4356.
We need to burn, we need to purge, it needs to burn
We need to burn, it needs to purge, it needs to burn.
once and for all.
Once and for all.
So all of the bloodshed is being called back through Buddha's hand.
All the bloodshed was being called back through Buddha's hands.
Is he's responsible somehow, some way.
He's responsible. I literally just said, I see it burning to the ground. I see the rooftop burning. We need to burn it. We need to burn it once and for all. It needs to burn. It needs to burn. And all the bloodshed is being called back through Buddha's hands. He is paying the price for the karmic cleansing.
The modern day guru.
Modern day guru. He created the modern day gurus. There's darkness there.
As we find our way to the steps, we start walking down, down, one step at a time, down, left foot to right, down, feeling the Om of the gods amplifying with every step we take. And as we leave that temple, it begins to burn, 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 burn to the ground.
As we leave the temple, it burns to the ground.
Remember the ray of the sun peering into the center. It's burning to the ground.
It's burning to the ground.
A purification, an undoing of what was forsaken.
A purification and undoing of what was forsaken.
So as we're walking down the steps, we're walking down the steps, we're walking down, down, down. The temple above us that is burning and burning and burning to the ground is getting farther and farther and farther away.
The temple above us that is burning and burning and burning to the ground is getting farther and farther and farther as we are going underground. I just burned the temple.
And as we are going down further and further towards the earth, towards inside the earth, we are getting closer and closer and closer to what's in the ground, to what is in the earth. The most powerful ley lines this area has ever found. Oh, oh, oh. The vibration of the Om is getting so profound that you can see the rocks moving, vibrating with the sound.
Very powerful vibration.
The trees are swaying gently from left to right with the Om. It's time now to completely undone all that has been done.
Undoing all that was done. And Buddha is responsible for the karma.
There is a trapped energy here as well of feminine nature.
Feminine energy trapped.
Being devalued,
Being
censored,
being devalued, being censored.
censorship, devalued,
Censorship.
and used. Almost like
So I said censorship, devalued, and used.
the sex trafficking thing.
Almost like a sex trafficking thing. That's what I just said as I'm going into this temple. These are what I'm saying.
In a way, if you will. Like property.
Property.
And I will use you how I want to use you. And this is what they would do with the power, the light, the control, predicting of futures.
So this is what they would do. They were predicting futures. They were using the power, the light, the control, and they were devaluing women, using them, selling them as property, and more. So there was an energy of women's trapped there. And that's what I started to clear out.
Using the word of God to seem almighty and powerful. summoning deities through ritualistic behavior and bloodshed,
Summoning deities through ritualistic behavior and bloodshed.
bringing fear through the word of the divine.
Bringing fear through the word of the divine. And I tried to say recently, do not call it the apocalypse, because that is based in that. Okay? This is not that. It's the return of the gods. So what was done has to be undone. It has to be purged and cleansed. So if you think the fire is just a coincidence, I literally said I burned the temple to the ground in July of this year is when I did this.
For it wasn't truly a main god they worshipped, but many a god.
It wasn't one main, it was many. So I'm hearing right now that Buddha didn't want to claim God because he wanted to be like God. He wanted you to think he was God. That powerful. So I'm processing all of that women energy, the abuse, they called it sex trafficking, like.
So I'm healing the wound of the mother, of
Healing.
the feminine, of Mother Earth and Gaia all around.
Healing the wound of the feminine and Mother Earth and Gaia all around.
For as we're going down the steps, we're making our way to the underground, the belly of the temple sound.
The belly of the temple
Where
sound.
it's deep in the Om.
Deep in the
Deep
Om.
in the Om.
Underground.
Deep in the Om. Oila, waila, ila, waila, ila, waila, ila, waila, oyo. Waila,
It's exciting.
So as we're making our way into the underground, it got dark. But you see, it's not really dark for you and me because I have the flame of the divinity. The divine flame of the one.
So I just said as we go down in the temple it gets pitch dark. But it's not dark for me because I have the flame of the divinity. The flame of the one.
And that is what I'm going to place in the crystal.
And that's what I'm going to place in the crystal.
Deep in this earth.
Deep in the earth.
So it's gotten dark, but now we can see through the light of the flame of the divine, the divinity, the pureness, purity, pureness, purity.
It got dark, so I'm here. Listen very carefully to my words. This is the return of the feminine. It got dark. I'm the chills. I'm healing the feminine. I'm cleansing the feminine. I'm healing the earth, the feminine wound. And then I'm taking the white flame into the darkness where it's been very dark, but I am returning to pureness. I'm returning it to pureness of the light.
Of the one.
Of the one.
You see, even age didn't matter with the feminine energy here. They were young.
They were young.
Very young.
Underage in a large degree.
They believed the younger it was more fertile ground.
So basically they wanted virgins. The younger, the more fertile ground, they said.
You will have my baby. I hear the masculine power control of the sound.
Forcing them to impregnate them.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So what I'm seeing is the power and control that was here. It was like this belief that all of these women need to have my baby. So almost like this weird multiple wives, but I don't marry any of them. They just do what I want them to do. They bear my fruit.
So he is like a concubines. He would have multiple wives, but wouldn't marry them and make them carry his babies and reproduce and reproduce, and he'd make them bear his fruit, and he would choose them very young. And this is what I'm processing out right now. Think Buddha was light? Think again.
And anybody who didn't like it, anybody who winced against it. And of course, it wasn't in the public eye.
Wasn't in the public
But
eye.
They were either condemned or sacrificed.
Anybody who went against it were condemned or sacrificed, and it wasn't in the public eye.
Fertile ground. That's what he called it. Fertile ground.
Fertile ground.
That's
what he called it.
So there's many lifetimes like this there.
Many lifetimes like this there.
It lasted for many a lifetime, many a moon, many a sun.
Lasted for many a lifetime, many a moon, many a sun.
For I see a dynasty coming from the past being brought forward. Remember the timeline of pulling us through the timelines? There's a dynasty.
There was a dynasty. So I'm just moving a timeline into a time of a dynasty.
And a ruler.
And some ruler. I just moved the timeline into a dynasty timeline with a ruler.
A ruler, a great ruler that led his people into sacrificial tendencies, into a world that was steeped in power of control.
A ruler that led his people into sacrificial tendencies in a world steeped in power and control.
Much like we're in today, but a little different for that time.
Much like we're in today, but a little different for that time.
Control of food, territory, women.
Control of food, territory, and women.
Getting rid of the ruler of the dynasty.
Getting rid of the ruler of the dynasty. 54:44.
As we make our way to this crystal. So we are deep now, deep in the earth. It's dark except for the white flame shining the way. And there's a bit of water. I see water on the ground. So the ground is just simply moist.
So I'm undoing time, and as I'm going, I'm processing, I'm taking the light into the darkness, and I'm cleansing these energies out, and we're almost to the crystal.
Like a cleansing water coming in through the stones, through the rocks, the earth. Bringing cleansing. Remember I told you there was rain coming down? Rain coming down.
Remember the rain?
Rain coming down.
Cleansing.
So the temple above has burnt, it's burnt, it's burnt, it's burnt down.
The temple above is burned, it's burned, it's burned down.
And the fire has calmed. It was only for that one temple.
It was only for that one temple. Listen to everything I say. So I said Buddha first, and then I said some dynasty, some ruler, undoing that, and clearing all the women and the torture and the control and the manipulation and the abuse and the sacrifice that they went through.
Kumbala wayantaya liatoy tantoyo. Because you see, to take the power away from God is not of God at all.
To use the power of God like that is not of God at all.
For Buddha wanted you to worship him, but he didn't himself believe in a God. He believed in deities and other gods and power and a divine nature, but how can you take that away from the Creator?
Buddha wanted the power, just like all of the
So they're
fallen.
taking away his throne. That is his karma.
They're taking away his throne. That is his karma.
Undoing of the Buddhist throne.
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 And I see some more souls being set free out of the underground
Releasing more souls.
temples. And as we're reaching the heart of the underground temples, I'm given a key again. And I take this key that's very large and I stick it into, it looks like the core of the earth, but also a crystal. So it's like both together.
It's a crystal.
Into this crystal and also through the core of the earth, and I turn it 1/4 turn clockwise.
So they handed me a key and I put it right into this crystal, which also looked like the center of the earth, and I turned it 1/4 of a turn clockwise. Forward now.
And before I can proceed, the beings of light are pulling other strings out of our heart center that are associated to these timelines. So bloodlines, energy of the past, history steeped in divine nature that
See, people didn't realize that those that were supposed to rise with me probably had karmic ties to heal this. So, I don't know. You know, we didn't get a lot of healing done. But if you think there's no coincidence to everything I said in this workshop, to that one particular temple burning down to the ground, I just said I burned a temple down, and then we're going underground, and it's just this temple, and I was undoing Buddha's reign. He's responsible for all of this karma, and then I was clearing all the bloodshed, the souls trapped, and then some dynasty. They kept calling it a dynasty and a leader, and clearing all of what he led his people into.
does not belong, a duality temple, removing it from the DNA of the earth.
A duality temple that does not belong, removing it from the DNA of the earth.
And all of mankind.
And all of mankind.
Undoing the history, a great rewind, a great reset.
Undoing the history.
Mankind and Buddha has lost his throne.
Buddha lost his throne.
So out of his hands, there was like blood pouring out of his hands. Buddha.
The image I got was Buddha's hands and just blood pouring out of them. That's his karma. He no longer has power. He has lost his throne. He's cut off from the light.
So we've made it to this crystal that I put the key in. And the divine flame is in my hand. It's very large. And purity, purity, purity.
Divine flame is in my hand. It's very large. I'm at the crystal where I put the key in and turned it. And it's just purity, purity, purity.
Of the divine.
Of the divine.
For I can see all things in these underground taverns, in these underground Tibetan temples, with the light of the flame.
I can see all of the underground Tibetan temples with the light of the flame.
And within this crystal, there is what looks like, so it looks like, I want to say that it looks like there's something dark inside, but it's as if there's a soul trapped.
There was a soul trapped in the crystal. I said I want to say something's inside and it's dark, but it's as if there's a soul trapped in this crystal.
know that sounds weird, but that's what I see. So I see like this dark energy inside this crystal, and it looks like there is a soul trap.
There's a soul trapped.
And I almost want to say it's a part of Buddha.
It's a oh, the
Kumbaya
chills. I said I want to say it's a part of Buddha, and I just got so many chills when I heard that.
and it has something to do with this dynasty.
It has something to do with the dynasty.
And other timelines too. Kumbaya.
And other timelines too.
So maybe it's connected to many things, not just one.
Connected to many things. Remember, they said Buddha was responsible for the false gurus. These gurus, these leaders, taking God's light for power and control and gain and concubining and like all of this kind of things. Like sex trafficking and bloodshed. And just like they do now, a lot of it was kept from the public eye. They only showed you what they wanted you to see.
So I'm about to put the white flame into the crystal, and as I do that, it's going to fill all the ley lines with the white flame. The light of the moon and the sun, and aligning it. So the key going in and turning it clockwise, it's also going to recalibrate this energy here. It's going to raise the vibration. It's going to set it free from history. It's going to set it free from the duality of history. So that's what we're doing here. We're healing through this Tibetan place, the beauty of the nature of what it truly is, the light of the one, and we're bringing the divine flame back here. So if you watch all my work, the divine flame was taken and forsaken, and we have brought it back. It was rebirthed at Lake Titicaca, as I've shown you. It was returned. And so we are bringing the white flame back here through this crystal in the ground, deep in the temples, in the underground of the Tibetan sanctuary. And it's connected, I'm releasing, excuse me, through all of the ley lines here. So I'm going to begin now to put this flame into the crystal. And as I do that, it's going to burn and purge, not burn, but it's a white flame. It's going to purify. It's going to purify this crystal and remove all duality and whatever this energy is that was in it. I don't even want to say it was trapped here. I want to say it was created here on purpose. It was brought in. It was called in through ritualistic behaviors.
So that soul in the crystal was brought in through ritualistic behaviors. This is what they would do. And that's the same thing they did with Sekhmet and then the core of the earth with that crystal at the Nile. So you guys, I dried the Nile like a year or two ago now. And now we're here. We're in the Exodus of Egypt work. And it started out at Mesopotamia. In the Sea of Gibraltar, which feeds into that area. And now this is undoing Buddha's reign. And by day 12 and 13, like it's all connected. So you have to pay very close attention to all the work.
Sacrifices, libations, different things like that. And it was used for power and control and manipulation, like it would act like a poison apple, right?
Like a poison apple.
An energy of temptations.
Temptations.
And so I see like almost like a tornado energy, just like just some wind picking up from the center out, just a nice, beautiful, powerful breeze. And I still hear the Om of the gods all around us as I take this flame and I split it in two in both of my hands, and my masculine energy represented with mine, and I put it right into this crystal.
So I need you to understand, I just took the flame and split it in two, representing the masculine and the feminine, and put it in the crystal.
And I allow this white flame of purity of God to purge all that was done here and to reverse the hands of time, cleansing out and undoing history of a darkened line. And as it's filling this crystal, it's going through the ley lines and it's purging all duality. It's purging what doesn't belong and it's setting it free. It's undoing history through these ritualistic temple areas. It's undoing the history of duality. It's undoing the history that doesn't belong. And it's setting this whole area free. It's purifying it. And so the white flame is like spreading like wildfire through all of these energy lines here. And then it's going through every tree and every temple. And it's just purifying. Just absolutely purifying. And I hear the Om getting louder and louder and more vibrant of the gods. And that vibration of the Om of the gods is helping to also purify the land, other temples, the trees, the sky, the raindrops coming down and cleansing ever so gently and beautifully and powerfully, all at the same time. And it's just cleansing and purifying. Cleansing and purifying. And then I see the blood continue to shed through Buddha's hands because his hands were responsible. So it's like karmic kickback. He has to pay that sacrifice.
Buddha has to pay the sacrifice.
And his throne is undone.
And his throne is undone.
They said his reign is undone.
Buddha's reign is undone. That word reign is power.
It's all undone.
All undone.
Does it mean Buddha will not exist? I feel like he still will exist. I feel like the power that he harnessed, the power that he had, the power that he somewhat took and manipulated, even if given his own, is all undone. So he just lost that connection.
He lost the connection to the one.
In a very divine way. And paying back his karmic line.
And paying back his karmic line. Buddha's reign is
undone.
The
history here has been undone. And I see the white flame just going poof, poof, just purifying everything through this crystal in this area. It's like the power center of this area. And I see the trees becoming more vibrant. And I see the energy, the air becoming more pure and cleansed. And all this false energy of like electricity or anything that may be around, these false vibrations being undone with the white flame and the power of the gods' Om. The God's Om vibration is very cleansing, resetting all of its own. Accompanied with the white flame filling up this space and undoing all that was done. And there is a few more souls rising up and just rising up to be set free. There's also beautiful waterfalls somewhere. I can hear it, I can hear it, I can feel it, I can feel the energy, and it's just being purified and cleansed. And the reign of the dynasty, all of this steeped in history energy, just being purified and undone. And bringing everything into the now. So remember, the earth started to stand still. So we're just allowing it to re-establish full connection. All ley lines filled with the pure flame of white, the pure divine flame, divinity. Pure light returns. And the God's Om will echo and resonate through this place for quite some time. Purging, realigning, cleansing, awakening, setting free. Any contracts that were here undone, setting everything free. So from Mesopotamia to Tibet, the temples of Tibet, an energetic line connection that was definitely not expected, but there is one now. It's quite beautiful. Everything just feels so pure, so divinity. And allow your energy to soak that up as they are purging connections of time out from our energy, out from our DNA, out of the earth, out of the Akasha records for the earth, and for those involved. We have set Tibet free.
We have set Tibet free.
We have set it free. So there's a lot of other history and timelines I didn't bring forward. Like I see different things, but it's always been known that there's power here. It's always been known that there was energy here, and it was used sometimes for good and sometimes for other things that were not of the purpose of light.
So I cleansed out.
So into the heart, this beautiful light. So it's like connecting Tibet to the heart of God. So as we're going to these locations, it's bringing them into New Earth. It's connecting this space, this divine sacredness, into the heart of God. Pure duality is undone. All of history is undone. And I feel like power was returned and reestablished here for what it should be. Back to the land and the eternity, the ethereal, the all-connectedness of the sun and the moon and the light of the one. And then I feel like the sun, remember that pillar of sun, like the sky just opening up, the energy becoming clear in the air, and the sun just engulfing this place with beauty and grace and healing and DNA. And as we start now to walk back up those stairs, we're going to walk back up the steps as we thank the earth. We leave the God's own vibrating through these temples, through the earth, through the ley lines, and the white flame will continue to purify and activate and awaken this area fully. Like a return of pure light, pure power into the divine. No duality. All souls set free. There wasn't lots and lots of souls, but there were a few. And they're all set free. But there was like a collective feminine trapped energy that we also purified and set free. So for all the women of this area, they're free. They're going to feel that. They're going to heal through that, through Mother Earth. And the men too. And the men too. Reestablishing pure divine love, unconditional love, a balance of nature, of masculine and feminine, and of light, the white flame. And that crystal is just vibrating and glowing. And I can hear the Om of the gods vibrating through. And as we walk up these stairs, every step that we take, we are also healing with the white flame through this energy. And Tibet has been returned home to the light of the heart of the One. Because this work was done. Can't bring duality forward.
We cannot bring duality forward. So where the shadow is not healed, it cannot rise.
So we are healing ancient places, awakening ancient places, clearing the history, undoing it, resetting mankind, returning power to where it belongs, balance, restored, purging, cleansing souls, setting them free, and healing it through our genetic composition, our Akasha records, our energy, and any timelines that we may have had in the past connected, like through past lives, ancient history, our ancestors, but it affects all mankind because we're connected. So when you do this work, it should help through others as long as you are choosing light.
Yeah. It's
to carry anything
action.
Outside of light into this work, it's dangerous territory. Because
to carry anything outside of light into this work is dangerous territory. That's why God didn't have me give the whole path on YouTube. The path to righteousness is separate because it's only for those truly wanting the light.
Undoing duality. And that's
you
for
were
me
tested.
too.
It's a choice the whole way. There's work to do.
And then I see a beautiful, just like what looks like a white dove fly out of the heart, out of my heart. And just beautiful bird, just beautiful pure white bird flying all over Tibet, all over these temples, all over this area. When we make our way up the steps to align once again with ourselves. But we aren't ending. We are connecting. We are integrating, inputting, integrating, connecting, and flowing through these spaces. So there is no undoing. We're just going to walk up these steps and kind of connect to the here and the now with our physical selves and leave pieces of our energy here because it's a connected line through all 13 days. So we have Mesopotamia, I still feel that in my energy, and now hidden temples of Tibet, which I had no idea about.
So there's 13 gates back home. 13 days, 13 gates. It's all the same, okay? I'm going to download the transcripts just because it did get so quiet. I want that downloaded, which it is doing. So that is the gist of all of it. What did the fires have to do? I told you I burned down a temple, just that particular temple. It's a representation of a purge, and had something to do with a dynasty, and they said that was modeled after something, right? Let me listen to that. Let's listen to that again, because it was modeled after somebody, and I want to look that up. So let's see. Oh. Hold on, let me pause that. I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this really quick. Where did they say it was? I want to look it up.
Video shows fierce flames burning the Wenchang Pavilion in eastern China. Local officials said no casualties were reported, and the pavilion did not house any cultural relics. It was built in 2009 and modeled after the historic Yongqing Temple.
Yongqing Temple. Historic Yongqing Temple. Come on, Mr. Slow Internet. What the hell? Okay, China's Southern Dynasty era Yongqing Temple. Holy Crada is located at the foot of Fiangtong Mountain, and Zhongtong is one of the oldest Buddhist temples in the region. Woo! Devastating fire consumes historic Yongping Temple in China. With more than 1,500 years old, was consumed by a fire in China, which caused surprise among locals and tourists who could only watch. So according to these, it was the ancient temple that burned. It was a 1,500-year-old Yongping temple destroyed. Fire damages historic replica. Okay, so it might be a replica either way. Massive piece of country's history burned to the ground. The fire broke out sometime on November 12th in the city of Zhangjiang. I'm sorry, I'm not. I will try not to do it this justice. It goes with what I said, though. The dynasty. Did y'all see the dynasty word? Mm-hmm. 15-year-old temple was burned to the ground. The fire broke out sometime on the 12th of November in the city of Zhangjiang. While the fire has since been extinguished, it's likely that the effects of the blaze will be felt throughout the local community, thanks to the age and importance of the structure. Okay, I want to go back. Oy, why is it being slow? Don't be slow. Don't be slow. I want to go back because it literally said dynasty. So I said in that workshop that we were undoing a dynasty. And I said only this temple will burn. Okay. So I may have clicked on a link that had some yuck in it. And I said this temple will burn. And only this temple, and it's purging this energy and Buddha's reign, and had something to do with some dynasty. And of course there's other lifetimes and other time frames of the connection, but these were the most important ones to purge. And for some reason it's like blah, blah. Wanting to be funky monkey. So it had to do with the dynasty. Let's see if it'll even let me stop share. Or did I completely freeze? It had to do with the dynasty. Okay. China's Southern Dynasty era Yongqing Temple faces its something or something. It's located at the foot of Fengyuan Mountain, Phoenix Mountain in Zhengzhou, and is one of the oldest Buddhist temples in the region. So it has to do with China's Southern Dynasty era. So what did the burning temple have to do with the return of the gods? Everything. We are in the Exodus of Egypt path. So much love, my friends. Until next time.